Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, what is happening, where is that, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, Feo Grande on YouTube, back for the umpteenth time in 2 years. Back again, but this guy hasn't seen, and as usual, I'm joined by my co-host and runner-mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Thank you, Omari. Thank you for having me. And as always, it's so exciting. So exciting to be here. I loved when we did this last year. I'm love doing it this year. We have done a full calendar year again, Omari. We've circled the calendar. We're back where we started when we first called each other. I was standing out on the back porch. I'm like, I don't know, we could both watch the same thing and then talk about it. Like that's a thing. And we watched Hamilton, and thus birthed this. It was 2 years
ago.
You
want to do it next week?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And what we did last year is we looked back at the full calendar year that we did, and we maybe doled out a few awards.
Yeah.
Maybe a few. I guess what are negative awards?
Cheers. No, not cheers. Miscommendations.
Poop
Demerits.
statues.
Demerits. Poop statues.
A few demerits. A few poop statues.
Razzles.
And it was a really nice way to like be like, oh right. Yeah, right. That one.
Watch that.
Because we do 52 of these. Because we hit you
Weekly.
every week. We're here every week with a product for you that we have watched, that hopefully you could watch, and then we can all talk about it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that again.
Yeah, that's right. So we are here with another award special. Yeah, that's right. And I guess we'll go ahead and get right into it with our first category, much like last year. Believe it is our favorite guest brought movie. You see, we had some guests on the show. We had a few less physical guests on the show this time, but we had some suggestions that were brought to us by them. But, we decided to have a category for our favorite one that we got suggested to us out of this year.
Absolutely. And I think we would both have all the same nominees here because they're all the guest brought ones.
Yeah, the same nominees. So, you have your Malignants, your Tokyo Gore Police that were both brought by Fluffles. Lagan.
Thank you, Fluffles.
Yes, Lagan, which I believe was suggested to you by a coworker.
Yes, Manisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manisha. There's also Dashing Through the Snow, suggested by my sibling.
It was one of our holiday movies this year.
Yes, that's one of our holiday movies. So thank you to her as well. I believe those were the four.
Yes, and then what we can also throw in there as a guest brought item, I think, is the New Day versus the Usos in a Hell in the Cell match, brought to us by Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
In our Wrestling Edition Volume 2 this year.
Yes, that's right. So that was fun as well. And I guess I'll go ahead with my winner for it, because I was trying to think about this last week. And though I like the acting in Lagan, it was a movie that made me watch stuff about cricket. I didn't think I'd do that. But no, I had to go with Tokyo Gore Police.
Fuck.
That thing was so...
Okay.
Given the movies that we just listed, that's why I said Tokyo Gore Police. It was so out of left field that I constantly was just laughing and just caught off guard throughout. So that's why I picked it as favorite. best of those probably like from a cinematic standpoint, Lagan to me. But
Which leads into my choice for favorite of this list, and that would be Lagan. But I highly support your choice, and I agree with everything you said. I just liked, I did like Lagan. Do I wish that it was 3.5 hours? Yes, I do. Um, but
it wasn't 3.5 hours, was it?
no, it was like
Four.
5, 4.5.
No, I think it was 4, and we watched the shortened version because apparently the director's cut or original version was like 9 hours or 7 hours long or something like that.
Yeah. Do I wish it was 3? Yes, but I still had a really enjoyable time, and I liked it a lot. Lot of good stuff here. Thank you to everyone that provided us with something to
Indian
watch.
movies don't miss, really.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
far.
we're early. We've just dipped our toes, but yeah, so far we're hitting them all out of the park. So next category, Omari, I have our most standout moment.
Yes.
Okay, so we do we do like our standout moments here on the show. That's what we like to hit on with our with the big moments in the thing that you're watching that you're going to remember, that stand out to you. Pretty self-explanatory. I'll go ahead and give my list. This is one of my bigger nominee lists. Some of these might be a mouthful here. For most standout moment, David Freese game-winning home run, 2011 Cardinals World Series film.
That's such a huge choice for this. I love it. And it's a great choice.
School of Rock plays at Battle of the Bands. School of Rock. Alex Grady holds off his opponent to save the points he has earned. Best of the best. Bar fight from Kickboxer. Rama fights Hammer Girl and Baseball Batman. The Raid 2. Do the Right Thing climax and our discussion about it.
Oh.
Michelle Yao motorcycle jump. And finally, training montage, Rocky 4.
All right, the Rocky 4 was. I agree with a lot of that list. The David Freese one, I'm like, I part of me wanted to like cheekily earlier with like standout moments, like when we were talking about this, off screen, like, oh, what are the categories? Part of me cheekily wanted to be like, when the Cardinals won the World Series, because that's one of the things we watched. It's probably what you would say. Sure enough, David Freese. Hey, I got no complaints. Cardinals fan here. I don't have it on my desk, but you can see the video. I've got my own replica ring of that World Series.
Yeah, it is. It's the climax of that documentary. Just like the climax of any film, and it's a documentary, so it's based off of a real event. That real event happens to be insanely impactful and stand out in its own right.
Yeah.
So yes, the moment it comes up in the documentary is pretty huge for me.
Yeah.
Let's hear your standouts.
My list was shorter because I wasn't thinking of getting like the long list or whatever for this. However, I had like pretty much shout out to the whole Raid Redemption movie. Just about any of that, mainly shit like the Mad Dog, him versus Mad Dog, or anything involving that character, because that guy I was looking forward to.
Now, a lot of like this night could be filled on my side of things with a lot of Raid and Raid Redemption, or the Raid Redemption and the Raid 2 stuff, because we watched both of them. So I wanna give an asterisk. I gave myself a personal rule that I could only nominate them once per category as a singular entity. So like
Okay.
for standout moments, I forced myself to choose. That's not to say what you have to do. Just when I was building my nominations process and I came to the two raid films, I told myself, all right, you could throw too many in here. I'm give yourself one from, but what is your most standout moment from both of those films? So that's
Yeah.
what I ended up choosing. That's how I kind of went down the line.
Yeah.
It was like I'm only gonna allow one to appear in each category.
Yeah. It was hard for me to do that. I had another thing that I ended up moving to our next category, which we'll bring up in a second, that I had picked, but because it was more appropriate for that. But what I ended up picking, because I said shout out to the whole Raid Redemption movie, but it was hard for me to pick one. But what
Yeah.
I ended up picking as my winner, Michelle Yao motorcycle jump onto train in Super Cop. Uh, for me picking stuff from the raid semi felt like cheating because it was one of those. We just want to talk about how much we like the raid. So I'm like, yeah, clearly the raid can take a lot of these for me as well. Not that I'd have anything against different categories, but much like you, I was like, I'm only nominating one thing from each thing if I'm really. Uh, but yeah, so Michelle, yeah, motorcycle train. Which was your winner?
Well, like last year, I am going to decide these in the moment.
Okay.
So I am deciding it right now. I just made my selection, and my most stand. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, my most standout moment. Alex Grady holds off his opponent to save the points he earned. Best of the best.
Nice.
That
was a
moment.
great.
That moment was imprinted in my memory when I was a child. It's probably my favorite moment of the film as an adult. It's the climax of the film. Like we talked, like so many of these
Hey,
standout moments are the climaxes of the film,
yeah,
or
the
just the
mask.
surprise runaway hit.
Speaking of stuff that stuck with me my whole life and the way I say things, the mask entire movie was fit into this last year, and I could have picked anything from that, but I was like, I can't just say the mask, the movie, the mask. But no, that I agree about that moment in and of itself. Though.
But no, that's a moment that's personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
I would say because I have a big list of nominations. I'll say I was leaning towards Michelle Yao motorcycle jump. I think honestly, you picking it subconsciously pushed me away from it a little bit because I wanted to pick something different, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And bar fight and kickboxer.
Bar fight and kickboxer
if I'm real,
is a great one.
Because you got his dance,
Yeah,
and you got the fights, and him playing drunk. All right.
All right. So I mentioned that this next category was a similar one, but it's different in and of its own. So because we did stand out like cool moments, really cool things in movies and stuff like that. This is more what the, moments that just make you say that. So WTF moment.
Yeah.
What the fuck moment.
This is a new category this year.
It's a new category this year, and I have. Again, I didn't think about putting the whole list of nominees here, but two things jumped out to me immediately. I guess three, but to keep them one per movie. I'm going to go ahead and say the Suicide Club, the beginning with the train jump, the and that just, hey, this is the movie.
Yep. That one almost went on my list. Spoiler.
The other one that I had on here, because I had just picked it because the literal what the fuckitude of it, when I was trying to look for standout moments, I was like, okay, this is it. And then you were like, no, the categories were separate. I'm like, oh, if that's a separate category, I'll just move it here. Crocovag from Tokyo Gore Police. With a girl with a fucking crocodile vagina.
Is that the same one that has acid boobs?
I think so.
Or does she have teeth boobs?
I think she had the teeth boobs and the crocovag.
Okay. And
Yeah.
somebody else had the acid boobs. Okay.
Yeah. So that was
Yeah. Do you have any other nominees?
just oh shit. I know you're gonna say them and I'm gonna be like, oh that.
I can run through
my head. Yeah,
I
on
can
the
run through
top
my
of-
list.
Yeah, you can run through your head. On top of my head, I'd just be like, anything for JoJo's if you're experiencing it the first time.
Okay, so my WTF list, and I'll try my best to give you the WTF. First one, the opening sequence creating the fake egg in Red Notice was a what the fuck?
Forgot about that shit. Okay.
Rama hallway fight, the raid redemption, was a what the fuck? JoJo dying at the end of part 1 was a what the fuck? The plan to enter the secure vault in Cradle to the Grave was a what the fuck?
So many different forms of what the fuck. I love.
And then the final, the shocking, the shocked what the fucks are. I actually chose the school roof jump
The school roof jump. Okay.
from Suicide Club,
That one was.
and
pretty
then
fucked up, too.
the human chair from Tokyo Gore Police.
I
Yeah.
had forgotten about the chair.
So it's lots of
that's a suppressed memory. What the fuck, right there.
so you got a lot of versions of what the fuck there.
You do. I like it. I appreciate it. I'm not sure if you saw the appreciation on my face of the different styles of what the fuck. I immediately just went to like shock value, but you were like like I gotta agree with some of these. And, like Rama hallway fight in Raid Redemption, one of those standout moments that I could have just picked to be standout moment.
Yeah, that's one of those that could have easily slotted into the standout moment, but it's so long, it's so aggressive. It has that one moment where he bounces the dude's face off of the wall like 3 different times as he's falling down. I feel like the only reaction once he's done with that and he like takes his big breath and starts walking on a frame is just like a what the fuck, like oh my god, like yeah, that's a oh my OMG moment, a WTF moment, beyond a standout moment. But I'll in this moment, so like I just said, there's lots of different versions of what the fuck here.
Yeah.
It's really, 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 really hard to not just choose human chair from Tokyo Gore Police.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you the most effective WTF moment on this list is the original JoJo dying at the end of part 1, because I had no idea about the concept of the series yet. And it shocked me to my core. I was so not expecting it. So yeah, that's going to get my vote. Omari, who wins for you?
Bring up some good points. I think I'm gonna have to give it to the chair. I know I said the only thing, I had forgotten about the chair. But even just as you
You
said
blocked it
it,
out.
yeah, even as you said it, I was just like, oh no, that was so much worse. Yeah, I think I'm about to give it to the chair. Some of your various categories of what the fucks. Um, I agree with the categorization of like
Yeah.
just about every
I
one of
mean,
those.
everybody, if you're watching this, if you happen to be watching this and you haven't watched our video on Red Notice, I encourage you to go back and at least watch like the first 10 minutes. Um, because I personally want to go back and see what I said because I hated that scene so much.
You did. That's why I was laughing when you went the egg. I'm like, oh, he did hate that. I don't even remember why, but he was not a fan of that egg scene. So yeah, that'll be fun to go back and look at.
All right.
But yeah, the chair.
Moving on to the next category, we have most disappointing. This might be something that you had some higher expectations going into. Um, Maybe something that you had seen before and you were hoping it lived up to that status level.
Yeah.
Omari, my most disappointing are going to be two that I brought to the table.
All right.
U.S. Marshals and Blade Runner, as well as two that you have brought to the table.
Okay.
Red Notice and 47 Ronin.
That's entirely fair.
Who you got?
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm gonna. I have Hostel on this list. I didn't have high expectations because I'm not a horror guy anyway, but it was even worse than I remembered. I expected to not like a lot of it, but I'm like, we need a horror movie, and Bill hasn't seen it. And maybe, we just watched some other stuff. This will be something. No, it was terrible. Um, Rise of Skywalker. Um, a disappointment, primarily just because of how much people were pressuring me to watch it, and despite me hearing mixed reviews, but turns out they wanted me to be mixed up in the reviews as well, which is why they wanted me to watch it. But that said,
It's a disappointing film.
it's a disappointing film. We go over all the stuff with that in that one. 47 Ronin, or what was the other one? Red Notice. I'm gonna say Red Notice. I'll put on there as well. I was fine with U.S. Marshals and Blade Runner. There were things we talked about with Blade Runner where we're like, that doesn't translate well through time, like the way they depict romance and stuff in that movie and his
Right.
over aggression. But I've just kind of accepted that as more product of its time because those were both new to me. So I think the newness of the experiences helped. Though I can see why U.S. Marshals would fall on that. Yeah, but I think if I'm picking a winner, it's Hostile. Fuck that movie.
Yeah. Um, you know, yeah, fuck Hostel. Stay tuned. Spoiler alert for my list down below. So yeah, most disappointing. So yeah, U.S. Marshals. I just thought it was going. I thought it was cool when I was a kid, and it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. I just thought it was cooler. I thought it was going to be cooler. You got Wesley Snipes in it. to do Wesley Snipes things. You got Tommy Lee Jones in it to do Tommy Lee Jones things, and then you got Robert Downey Jr. to just kind of be be Robert Downey Jr. and do some good acting in between the two of them. And it's just not as cool as it feels like it could be. Blade Runner is one of those where it's just one of those that's loved so by so many, and it's considered one of those classics. And I've just never fully. It's just not one that I dig. And this time I was really hoping that it would finally click for me, the way we watch these films, and it still didn't. So that's that. Red Notice is just stacked with a bunch of cool people.
Well, I
But
mean, you got The Rock to do the Rock things. You
but
got,
that's where it begins and
Ryan
ends.
Reynolds to do Ryan Reynolds things. And then, you got Gal Gadot playing a character doing Gal Gadot things in between
Yeah.
the two of them.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna say most disappointing was 47 Ronin.
47 Ronin. Now that I think about it, yeah. Because you would expect more out of it, like John Wick.
I
I
really thought we were about ready to get a banger. Like the second I found out, oh, it's fantasy too, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a fucking banger, and it just kind of fell flat for me. So I'm gonna choose 47 Ronin.
Okay. Yeah. I got Hostile. It was even worse than I imagined.
You got the next category, bud.
I expected nothing, and I'm still disappointed. So yes, our next thing is about surprises as well, but it's most surprising in a good way. That's right. So, as opposed to disappointment, oh, I didn't like that as much as I thought I would. We got things we do like. So I had things like a couple movies that we mentioned in our guest brought things. I have Lagan listed in there. Um, Dashing Through the Snow, I thought was surprising in a good way. Like it was better than I thought it would be. Um, and another one that I kind of expected to like Super Cop, but I was not expecting what came out of it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So Super Cop and Surf Ninjas. Cause yeah, Kwansu dudes.
Kwansu dudes.
What if Rob Schneider did good in the performance?
My most surprising in a good way are Best of the Best. I thought that was one of those that I was drudging up from my past that was going to suck. And it's not a great movie, but it's an 80s sports movie. It's not even an action movie. It's an 80s sports film. And it yeah. I was happy it wasn't an awful watch. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I had a really good time watching part 1 and part 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You never know what you're gonna expect when Omari feeds you an anime. So I really enjoyed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Speaking of which, really, really, really enjoyed Redline. I had a really good time watching Redline. That would probably be a movie that I would own, just so I'm reminded to go back to it, or else I would fear that nothing would remind me of it, and it would just become lost in time.
I believe by now it is a movie I own, at least digitally.
At least digitally. Next one, most surprising in a good way, Tokyo Gore Police. Was not anticipating, as it won your guest offering, was not anticipating it to be as funny as it was, and as like trauma film style as it was, and that was really enjoyable once you allow yourself to get into that headspace. Next, this is another one of those bigger categories for me. A lot of them, a lot of my categories have a lot of nominees. We had a good year. We had a good year. What can I say? Um, next, in my most surprising in a good way, Super Mario Brothers. Was not expecting good things. Was expecting to have a hate watch, or at the best, something that I end up ignoring and get on my phone halfway through.
Shout outs to
Um,
that because I did consider that as well.
yeah, Super Mario Brothers, enjoyed my time with that. And then finally Bull Durham, parentheses, specifically Kevin Costner in Bull Durham. Most surprising in a good way. I knew Bull Durham was like a good classic baseball film and I'd seen it several times. But seeing it as an adult and then kind of gaining a weird pseudo-sexual attraction to Kevin Costner in Bull Durham, of like a kind of a gay for a day kind of vibe for Kevin Costner. And I
Fair
was like,
enough.
oh, okay. All right, Kevin, you can get it. Kevin can get it. And so that one was added to my list. Who you giving yours to?
I'm going with Lagan.
As soon as you said that, I was like, that should have been on my list too.
It made me watch something about cricket for 4 hours. I I can't stress how I did not expect that. I didn't fall asleep. I was attentive for the whole thing. I wasn't really that distracted by it. Was able to do it in one sitting. Yeah, and like I said, I enjoyed it. Lagan. It's about taxes and cricket. I know, does not sound like the most entertaining of movies, but it's awesome. You should check it out. Anyway, you?
I have selected Redline as my most surprising in a good way. When you say anime about car racing, uh, do you think Speed Racer? I don't know. I was like, okay, that's a lot of, but I wasn't anticipating this. A whole different art style and whole new everything. And it was super interesting and really good, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, um, my most surprising in a good way.
Machine Head.
Is this one mine?
I believe so.
All right, we're going on to the we're continuing the good vibes as we move on to our best acting performance. These are the actors, Omari, that shape the things that we watch. Will they be good? Will they be bad? It's entirely subjective, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. These are mine. Best acting performance: Christian Bale, The Prestige. Hugh Jackman, The Prestige. Joan Cusack, School of Rock. James Earl Jones, Best of the Best. Danny Aiello, Do the Right Thing. Russell Crowe, Gladiator. Bill Murray, Caddyshack. And then, of course, Jim Carrey as The Mask. How about you, Omari?
Um, Christian Bale in The Prestige. Hugh Jackman in The Prestige. uh, I had the Gladiator villain.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix makes sense. I wasn't sure if I wanted to put him or Crow, but I was like, hey, I've got him. So shout out to Pro as well in that movie.
You're usually a villain guy.
Well, he was such a bitch, and he played it so well.
Yeah.
Like
No, he does.
that's what I'm saying.
He
It's
does.
more the performance of it, because I like Russell Crowe's character more than that guy in that movie.
Yeah.
Even though I am more of a villain guy, but I'm just saying his portrayal. I'm like, oh, you're such a little bitch. Speaking of villains, I did like their portrayal of more than the hero. Villain from Blade Runner, Hoffman, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Dustin
No,
Hoffman.
no, not Dustin Hoffman.
Oh.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
Well,
but you know the thing at the end with the time to die.
yep.
That
That we
that monologue.
recreated.
Yeah, that was cool. Um, you
Rutger
mentioned
Howard.
Rutger Hauer. Yeah, I don't know why I said Hoffman. Yeah, that's why you need to look up names. Anyway, Jim Carrey in The Mask. Obviously, love that. There were a couple other ones you shouted out that I will also shout out as well. Because I don't disagree with anybody on your list. James Earl Jones and the best of the best was great. Um, you listed another one.
Tommy.
Tommy.
No. No. God, I wish like just for 20 seconds let me sound like James Earl Jones.
Right?
No.
Yeah, so I would say those. Obviously, Bill Murray and Caddyshack was hilarious, but I think if I had to pick a winner, it's hard. But due to the nature of what his role is supposed to pull off, without being very spoilerific, I'm gonna go ahead and say Bale. In
Okay.
Prestige, because of what his role had to pull off and the way he did it. And you know, it's one of those things that enhances rewatching and stuff like that.
And that's Omari why we have a show. Because as you were saying that, I was highlighting Hugh Jackman.
Awesome.
As my award winner for best acting performance this year. Congratulations to The Prestige for sweeping.
Yeah.
Have we had a single matching thing yet?
No.
I feel like last year we had several matches.
Yeah. Last year there were a couple. You make a good point on matching you. We've had matches.
Right.
That's been us with nominees so far, not necessarily with performers. And it probably will continue in that way as we move on to the worst acting performance. You know, everybody's here. We're just trying to make a paycheck with our passions, put some money in our friends' pockets and in our
We're
families.
getting paid?
Not us, actors.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, but you know, we're about to say who the worst actors are. I don't want to just be like, oh, these untalented motherfuckers, what a fucker they on screen. That's
Well,
rude.
no, you never know. Sometimes it's the
Yeah.
script.
There's a lot of things.
Sometimes it's the
script,
direction.
It's direction.
Sometimes
Everyone's out
maybe
here just trying to make a
the
paycheck.
environment, context. We don't know what their life is
That's
going
all
on.
I'm saying.
Right
They're
then
just
in
trying
that
to do
moment.
their best. Nonetheless, if we're doing the best, there has to be a worst. That's just how the statistics work.
Cookie crumbles.
Yep, cookie crumbles. So, for me, honorable mention, much like last year,
Honorable.
people from old, nominees, I guess, instead of honorable mentions, but nominees, old dub VAs, voice actors from old dubs that, you know, they clearly are just in an apartment somewhere.
Fatal Fury.
Their lines. Fatal Fury, for instance. Yeah. So obviously that I don't know any of their names, but I'm gonna go ahead and just bundle that up and put them as a nominee like I did last year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep that going. Kind of in a similar boat. I forget which of the three ninjas kid, but I remember us distinctly talking about during the thing, like one of them not being the best actor and clearly only being there for his martial arts skills.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Rocky.
Yeah,
That's
Rocky.
Rocky.
Rocky, not to be confused with the movie. And I'm about to put the cast that you got served. I have a lot of group pairings to decide. And- but there wasn't a lot of good acting in that one either. Damn, it's hard to pick the worst actor of the worst for me this year, in all honesty. But those are some of the ones that I had. Couldn't think of anybody that stood out more. Oh, yeah, individually, no, but the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Right, of course. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, there's some.
There's, what were your nominees?
Okay, my nominees for worst
Yeah.
acting performance are Annabella Wallace, who plays Madison, our lead character in *Malignant*.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be harsh with this one, folks. Come at me. Come at me. You want to fight me about this? Fight me down in the comments. I'll meet you there. Next on this list, Gal Gadot, Red Notice.
I thought about
Worst
putting her-
acting performance. I did choose one. The one who's taking the bullet, Omarion. You're on my nominees list for You Got Served. Worst acting performance. Just to show that I'm not a heartless person, I can look at my own shit. Eric Roberts, you are getting nominated for worst acting performance and best of the best. You're an overactor. I love you, but you're not. You make weird choices. Keanu Reeves in 47 Ronin. You are on my worst acting performance list. DMX, Cradle to the Grave. You are on my worst acting performance list.
Ooh.
Tom Arnold, Cradle to the Grave. You are on my worst acting performance list. Harrison Ford, Blade Runner. You are on my worst acting performance list. And finally, Robin Tooney, the lead character in The Craft, is in my worst acting performance list.
Fucking.
I got a big nominees list in this one.
Omarion. See, I wasn't sure if I wanted to say Omarion or Marcus Houston. For those of you who don't know me personally, I used to have a huge bias against Omarion, the actor / singer, mainly the singer. I used to have a big bias against him. I saw him in a better light this time watching You Got Served than I did in the past. I'm trying to get over old grudges and stuff like that. Only room for so much hatred in my heart. I'd like to be a happy person.
And you want to make room for new hatreds.
Yeah. Or, just growing, festering ones, like quarterbacks out of New England or something. But, that's a different story. The bottom line is that, yeah, I'll agree.
It's
about
one of them that you got to release. He doesn't even play anymore.
What's his name? 47 Ronin. Now that you mention it.
Keanu.
Yeah. And yeah, Tom Arnold. I think Tom Arnold in Cradle to the Grave, I remember it just upset me.
Yeah, you really disliked him in that movie.
Yeah, I think that's my winner right there. Is Tom Arnold. Yeah, the second you said it, I was like, right. Tom Arnold in that movie. I didn't like him.
Yep. I am going to go with Keanu Reeves in 47 Ronin.
The Gal Gadot was a good mention too. I thought about her when you mentioned Red Notice a couple categories ago.
Yeah, that would be a good one. There's a lot of people in second place here. I'm gonna go ahead and bump Keanu Reeves up in the first place because you're already a very understated actor, and on this one, it almost feels like you didn't even show up. Like it's so understated, it's too understated. You're barely there. So I'm gonna put you on my worst acting performance list, or as the winner.
All right. So that was worst acting performance. So now we're on to a better category, a more positive category. Bill, what's that category?
Well, Jim Cornette, it is.
Oh, because I'm
tennis racket.
Gotcha.
Movies you would most like to show your friends. This one, it's kind of two versions of this one in my mind. It's movies you would want to get around a group of people and hate watch and and like riff at while you're watching it, and then movies that are just like so awesome that you have to present them to people and you'd prefer to be there when they watch them, kind of thing. Uh, my nominees for that are You Got Served, Best of the Best, Kickboxer, The Raid Redemption, Tokyo Gore Police, and Surf Ninjas.
Okay. Agree with a lot of those, especially when you put them in both categories. So,
Like movie to put on at a party kind of thing, or like,
yeah.
you know, 1 to 4 people over.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, hey, if it's just movies I want to show my friends in general, well, that's why we got this show.
Yeah.
look at all of my suggestions. Congrats.
Mhm.
But more specifically, I'd say Red Line is one that I definitely have been recommending to more people since Red Line, Super Cop. If someone hasn't seen Super Cop, I would say that. As far as just background or laugh at the stupidity, some of the stupidity in Cradle to the Grave, I mean, you still have some kind of action shit, you know, DMX, dogs, Jet Li, fire. Like, why is it a ring of fire? Really? They're handling plutonium with their bare hands? Stupid. Also, with some of my friend groups, you know, shout outs to the various fighting game movies I've had on here. But I think another movie that I would show to someone just to see their reactions, Suicide Club or Tokyo Gore Police, like you said. Those two as well. That said, I think my winner that I picked was a Red Line.
Red Line. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a solid pick. I feel like I don't know, like a similar reason why I picked mine. I am going with Surf Ninjas. It's for me, it's kind of the perfect movie. Like I said, if like 3 people are coming over, and I just need something to be there to cut the silence.
Yeah.
And it can be on, and we can pop in and out, and there's going to be moments we notice, and it's kind of bright and colorful a lot of the time. I feel like that's kind of the perfect one for that. Otherwise, like Raid Redemption can be too locked in, and then you're coming over to watch a movie, which is also another experience, and that's fine. But yeah, to like have around with friends and chill and put on a movie, but like I still want to not be condemned if I like ask my friend about their new job while the movie's going on, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna throw my award to Surf Ninjas.
Nice.
All right, Omari, on the other end of the scale.
Why, yes, you had the movies you show to your friends. This is more movies you probably, well, depends on how you look at it. It's movies you would show to your mother. So, you know, sometimes these could be more family friendly. Sometimes, depending on your relationship with your mom, you could be like, hey, the same stuff you show to your friends, you would show to your mom.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your mom vibe movie of this season? Kind of thing.
This season, Dashing Through the Snow as a Christmas film, especially with it being predominantly black casted and, you know, being new and giving, you know, new people a shot and stuff like that, the nuance of it as well. I think she'd get a kick out of that. If I'm trying to show her, obviously, Five Heartbeats is another thing that I know she would enjoy.
Yep.
Movies that were shown to me, I think she might get a kick out of Heart and Souls. You know, to be in an older film. That'd probably be one. I'm not sure how she feels about Rocky. I know she is at least. I think she likes the masks.
I bet she like Heart and Souls.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah. That said, there's not. that many that she probably wouldn't have seen. Maybe the Prestige as well. I think she'd get a kick out of the Prestige.
Yeah. So my mom was a movie junkie, so she saw a lot of films, too, just like me. That's where I got a lot of that from, probably. But like the movies I would want to watch with my mom, would be like School of Rock, Dashing Through the Snow, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Young Frankenstein, and Once Upon a Time in the West. Those are all my like mom vibe movies.
Yeah, my mom would get a kick out of like Frankenstein as well. But JoJo's would not be my mom's vibe. That is one of those. Yeah, this is something to show to friends. JoJo's is also something I would like to show friends and be there for. Pretty much any anime I recommend to friends, I want to be there for if it's something I really like.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think my winner would be Dashing Through the Snow, though. I think that'd be the most likely suggestion with the highest success rate.
And victory, yeah. Mine is School of Rock. Mine would be School of Rock. That's the perfect kind of movie for my mom and me. So that would be my winner on that one. Next category we got going. This is our second new category this year, Omari. Because we covered a lot of stuff this year, and a lot of it sometimes isn't movies. So we have our best non-movie presentation. And similar to the guest brought films, this would be the same nominees for both of us. We have the 2011 Cardinals World Series film. We have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, parts 1 and part 2, two different episodes there. The Star Wars Holiday Special, Wrestling Edition Volume 2,
X-Men 97,
and then X-Men 97,
and Solo Leveling. Yeah, so
Omari, what's your favorite?
Recency biased and stacked competition against it. It was kind of just bad timing for the rest of y'all. X-Men 97. I'm sorry, it was just sorry everybody else. Thanks for playing. It just had to be decent, and it's at least that. At least at the time of this recording. That's my disclaimer in case the end of the season is terrible.
We banked. Come on, guys. We're not idiots. We banked these early. This is not a time dependent thing. We're watching movies here and we're chatting about them.
Yeah. But that said, X-Men 97. If I wasn't to include that just because of the recency bias, I would, and X-Men bias. Oh, you're just an X-Men fan. That's why you picked it. Fine. Solo Leveling. I've been intrigued by that, and I ended up finishing the whole first season and enjoying it. Looking forward to continuing it however I can.
Right on. I am going, just like you said with same with X-Men 97. It's hard, like 2011 Cardinal World Series film already has a head start off of the starting block. Like the other 5 things are just like, whoa, wait, what's going on? As the World Series film is always like, but coming up from behind and taking the race, I'm gonna give my best non-presented movie or non-movie presentation to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If I think back on it, that might be my favorite of the series that of the anime series that we've dipped our toe into so far.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah. Obviously, I like JoJo's and everything, but like I said, the bias was already going to be stacked against everything else when X-Men '97 and then ended up on this list, and I'm like, um, and then like I said, recency bias, X-Men bias. I had to pick it. So from the best non-movie, we gotta have at least a little bit more negativity before we wrap things up. And we're gonna go back into just movies overall. And we gotta go with the worst. The worst movie. So things such as Hostel, Star Wars Christmas, that just wasn't good. Red Notice, we've touched on it. Let's see, what else do I have here? Fucking You Got Served, not a good movie. Fate. Do I want to put Fatal Fury out here? I might put Fatal Fury down there. And I'm a big Terry Boucard fan. I'm putting Fatal Fury down there.
It's not great.
I'm putting Fatal Fury down there. I thought about putting that shit disappointing in all honesty. But yeah, and 47 Ronin I'm gonna put down there as well.
Fair. My worst movie nominees of the year are going to be Red Notice, You Got Served, Hostel, and Dashing Through the Snow.
Wow. That's fair.
And it's not even a competition. Hostel is one of the worst fucking things I've ever watched in my life. It didn't deserve to be mentioned anywhere else on my list.
Agreed. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I have.
Agreed. That was the winner for worst movie on mine as well. That was one of the things. Like the only thing that took me some contemplative was to get a list of nominees because I knew that was there, and while I wasn't a fan of Star Wars Christmas Special and that it was bad, it's like the longest 90 minutes of my fucking life.
Oh my god!
And I watched it with a friend.
It feels so long. It feels so fucking long. Hail Mari, we're not even halfway through yet.
No.
It feels like we've been watching for 2 hours, and it's been 35 minutes.
Like that's a strong contender, but Hostel is Hostel, and it's just bad. So yeah, Hostel, worst of the year, unanimous. There's an agree here. Unanimous worst movie of the year, Hostel.
It's time for the big one.
Oh yes,
the best movie
all right.
we have watched in season 2 of This Guy Hasn't Seen. My nominees are The Prestige, The Raid Redemption, Kickboxer, Redline, Surf Ninjas, and The Mask.
Our lists are slightly different. So I tried to mix in some objective as well as some favoritism in my best movies of the year. The Prestige, The Raid Redemption, Redline, The Mask, Gladiator I had on here, and I thought I had another one. What? I think that's all I had. Never mind. I had those 5. I think one of the ones you mentioned, I was like, oh, I probably should have put. I think that's where I got mixed up in my head. I was like, oh, I should have put Kickboxer. But I didn't have Kickboxer, and I had Gladiator instead of one of the movies you had.
Surf ninjas.
Surf Ninjas. But yeah, I had The Mask, The Prestige, Red Line, and The Raid Redemption. And you're a
All
winner.
right. I mean, for me, when one of these films is on your 10 most important films of your life list, it's kind of not a fair fight. So my award gets auto handed to the Raid Redemption.
I mean, when you put it that way.
It's hard for you to not pick a different film.
Right. It's hard for me not to pick The Mask in that kind of category. It is probably the most influential to me out of these movies throughout my life.
It's however you want to
Obviously,
go with it. If you want to go Oscar-ish,
yeah, I'm about to say, obviously,
yeah.
there's the whole objective film prestige with the actorial nature of the actors. And yes, that is true. But look, Ma, I'm roadkill. Like, I'm not even like one of his funniest lines. I just needed to. I'm like, I need a line for the movie. There we
Yeah.
go.
No,
Like,
a friend from work today, we were carrying some, he was helping me carry some things, and we were walking into the elevator, and he verbally says out loud, I don't know why, but I have bonsoir, mon frère, in my ear. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, that's, that could have been anything, but like, why would it be an earworm? And I'm thinking about it as we're riding the elevator down. Like right when we get to our destination floor, before the doors open, like, by any chance, is it bonsoir, mon ami? Or no, what is it? Mon chéri. Um uh
something along those
and
lines.
and he replays it in his head, and he goes, "Oh my God, striped shirt in the park, the mask." And I was like, "Yeah, you're thinking of the mask."
Yeah, it's great. It's just a great movie. I've had the fucking soundtrack stuck in my head for like the last 2 weeks or 4 weeks, however long it's been since we fucking watched it. I just sitting there, not even with the normal thing, just I'm just a baby, going all fucking Satchmo with it. It's just I love that movie. I can't. The Mask. Sorry, you're right. It's unfair to everybody else. Prestige. Prestige, Gladiator, Claps. You guys are films of
Mwah.
the Oscar variety. I'm a movie man, and I like The Mask.
Yeah. And I love the raid.
Yeah,
We
that
can't we can't we love what we love.
we broke the rules to talk about them on the show.
That's true. They're both the films that we forced onto the show. Oh
That's
God,
funny.
that's hilarious.
So there you have it, our winners and categories. So Bill, what are we talking about next week?
What?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I didn't think about it, but now we got to think about it.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Well, Omari, we're starting off a new season.
yes,
Okay, we got to do a banger. Omari, we got to do something big.
I've seen that movie.
Um,
Big with Tom Hanks. I'm not whatever movie you were talking about.
We are going to watch, fuck it, Apocalypse Now
Oh,
on This Guy Hasn't Seen. Strap in.
all right.
It's a long, bumpy
I
ride.
wanna close my eyes. I wanna fall asleep. Where they blow up the meteor?
That's Armageddon. Apocalypse Now is the Vietnam War film. Martin Sheen, Marlon Brando, Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh,
Um,
that's not what I was talking about it.
no, it's not. Have you not seen Armageddon? That can go on the list too.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm like
I
Superman
wouldn't
flying.
dare us not watch Apocalypse Now for Armageddon. I can't do that on documented recording on video. I can't make that switch for Apocalypse Now's sake. Um but we can add Armageddon to the list.
Fair enough. If you want to see some of our other reviews and stuff like that,
How do
previous
you
stuff,
spell
go ahead and
Armageddon?
check them out. Two D's.
Gadian.
It's either two G's or two D's. I forget.
Usually I just go by trying my best and waiting for spell check. There we go. Okay.
Two D's, two G's.
Yeah, Armageddon. Arm age Didon.
Arm HD Don. Anyway, you can check out our other videos on the channel. You can also check me out elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast. Do it with a good friend of mine, aforementioned on the show Super Jazz. We got new episodes.
Finally back after a long hiatus. I love seeing you guys back. I love those
Yeah,
episodes rolling in. It's a good time again.
yeah, that's right. And yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on. Thank you very much, Bill. You got anything you want to say to the folks out there?
No, I don't. I mean, thanks for having us.
Two
If you
years.
have us. Omari, thank you for having me. Two
Same. Hey,
years.
this is all. Without you, this doesn't happen. Without you being like, hey, what if we do this for your channel? Be like a once in a while thing, like we said the past couple of times on these specials. But yeah, so same time next week.
Same time next week.
All right, we'll see you guys later next week with Apocalypse Now. Adios, this.